First and foremost, before I begin, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashmal Shai, Bashem Racha HaKodash. Double honors go out to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, who want to teach well. Shalom, wa barakim to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, this is Brother Malachi from the Great Millstone Nashville branch, coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing, it is edifying unto the elect. So, like, turn this up a little bit. So, as you can see, it's impromptu in transit. Really, I just wanted to touch on something that I was meditating on, Really, because yesterday for class, well, after class, we do a lesson as a camp. And the topic is basically you follow righteousness. That's what makes you a real man. All right, now, it's important to understand that with following righteousness, with following Yahweh Shemel Shai, applying the scriptures to your life, the world is going to hate you. All right, Yahweh Shai told us that time and time again. It tells in Isaiah, I think it's the 59th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, talks about how if you depart from wickedness, you make yourself a prey. Because this world is ruled by the wicked. Job 9 and 24, which the wicked is Esau Edom, collectively known as the so-called Caucasoid race. All right, collectively, for the most part. Because, of course, you have some terrorists in there. And, of course, we know not every so-called white person is an Edomite. It's based upon your father's lineage. All right, but primarily that is the main group that makes up the nation of Edom, Esau Edom, who are the wicked. All right, pursuing the Malachi chapter 4. No, Salakia, Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. And when you look at Sirach 10, starting at the top, it tells us how basically the leader is how the people are going to be. So if the leader of a country is wicked, he's pushing out wicked vibration, majority of the people, the inhabitants of that country are going to be wicked because they're following under the vibration of their leader. See, so this world is primarily filled with nothing but evil, wicked people. All right, they may not realize that they're being wicked. Some of them, they're elect, but we reprove you and let you know through the scriptures. Do this, don't do this, don't do that. Yada yada yada. That way, you know how to please the Lord, and you know the path that you need to be walking down. Which in Jeremiah 6 and 16, it lets us know that that's the old paths. All right, we're supposed to follow after the old paths because this world is introducing a whole new way of living, which is nothing but wickedness. All right, especially the western side of the world. All right, starting with that whore, Babylon. Okay, Babylon the Great. So when you follow righteousness and you go down the old paths and you want to walk the path of life, Yahweh Shai called it the straight gate. All right, straight spelled Strait, going into difficulty or tribulation. All right, which is what you're going to find yourself in being in this truth. You're going to catch hell, and that's just the way it is. And honestly, you shouldn't want it any different. Because if you were put in a comfortable position, if the Lord put you in a comfortable position, you wouldn't last in this truth. Because being comfortable in this world, one enemy, our flesh doesn't want to do lessons and go out in the heat, or our flesh doesn't want to give tithes or keep the law or do anything. All the flesh wants to do is feel pleasure, feel dopamine. All right, but that's the big importance of discipline in this truth. All right, but when you apply discipline and you start applying righteousness in the laws of the Most High and doing this work, you're going to notice that the world that once you were flowing with and you were making friends and you had all the women and you did this, you had money flowing in like crazy. Life was good, and that was because you were following the ways of the wicked. All right, which Proverbs 14 and 12, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Okay? So, and Salakia, for any butchering that may occur in this video, I'm trying my best to quote. But When you follow righteousness, you start to swim against that river, and that's why you feel. That's why you feel the what's the word? The current, I guess, going against you. You feel adversity, all right, and that's a product of following righteousness in a wicked world. I believe Galatians 1:4. I think it's 1:4. It tells us how Yahweh died for our sins, and He's going to deliver us from this present evil world. Shalom, brother. Yabashmal Shai Barakatah. He's going to deliver us from this present evil world, which that shows right there that the inhabitants of this planet, they got to be ignorant as all hell. For the Lord to tell you that this is an evil world, and that the rulers of this world are wicked, and all the inhabitants are following the ways of wickedness, but yet people still think, like for example, yesterday you have Easter. People think something like that is good and that's holy. But then it doesn't make sense, because you got to look at the leaders of the world. If the leaders are wicked and what do you think is going on? They're pushing out all these different ideologies, which I actually watched this when I was on my way to work. I was watching this Elder Barak video, the elder from LA, and it was the guy was letting you know, like, I guess it was a TikTok video that the elder played, and the guy was basically saying that I think like he had got in touch with one of the elites, and they said that their main goal, or like the way they look at life, is to defeat God. So that's the rulers of this world. I think it's First Thessalonians, no, Second Thessalonians 2 and 4, I think, or it might be 3 and 4, and it goes into how he opposes the Most High. All right, Esau Edom, the son of perdition. So his whole mo, his whole purpose is to be the wicked. He is literally, well, Psalm 17:13, he's known as the Lord's sword. All right, but the job of Esau Edom is to be the antagonist of the movie Bang Theory. That's why he brought forth evolution, because he's trying to turn people away from the Most High. That's why he brought out Christianity, Islam, because he wants to turn the people, well, really the Israelites, because we know the Lord only deals with the Israelites. He wants to turn the Israelites' hearts away from their Maker, because that's his job. And then he sets Jake up for failure. He puts Jake in the hoods, puts Jake in poverty. He pushes out a whole bunch of pork products and all that. So Jake will go off, and then he can tell the Most High. That's the accuser of our brethren. That's what he does. So when you come out of the world and you put off the old man, which is a constant battle every day, you're gonna notice that the world is against you and the people are against you. They don't, and a lot of times they don't know why, but it's just the spirit that they have within them, because they're connected to this world. But the Lord told us in James 4:4, to be a friend of the world is an enemy, the enmity of God. So it makes you an enemy, roughly paraphrasing that. So you can't be in the world and in this truth, which that's Matthew 6:24. You can't serve two masters. So you got to pick one. And it's coming to the point where, especially once the MOTB gets rolled out, the CHIP, all right, the RFID, or if you're in Europe, I'm pretty sure it's called NFC, the NFC chip. It's coming to a point where the Lord is going to completely wipe off the Israelites that are riding the fence, because you're going to have to make a decision. Either you're going to conform to the ways of the beast system, or you're going to follow after Yahweh Shema Shai. You're not going to be able to ride that fence no more, which you already shouldn't, right? But in that day, you're going to have to make a definite decision, which we're going to find out that a lot of these guys, especially outside of Great Millstone, that they got all these bugged out doctrines talking about the new covenant, or talking about how you can have butt sex, talking about sex on the Sabbath. We're going to find out that they're going to end up taking that. And that it is what it is. The scriptures tell us about that. There's going to be people that act like they're righteous and they're not. That's what it is. Somebody's got to play that role. But that's why one of the biggest qualities that's important in this ministry is being genuine. You want to be sincere, because we all know that you're not going to be perfect and you're never going to achieve 100%. You're never going to be Yahweh Shai, but striving to be like him, you're sincerely trying to do your best, means when you make mistakes, you're in a penitent spirit. You have a broken and contrite heart, which the Lord said those are the people that he's nigh onto. Those with a broken spirit and a contrite heart. Somebody that's going to repent for their mistakes. Somebody that Brother, hope that that did not mess up the sound. I just got a phone call, but I just fucked up my whole train of thought. So like you. Wow, that was Satan. But anyways, um, that probably sums it up. I just want to do something quick. I might bring out some more scriptures later on if the Lord permits. Do a part two to this. But uh, just to wrap it up, just kind of summarize what I was going into is basically the world is going to be against you when you come into this truth, and the people too. The scriptures even tell us that most of the people, Second Ezra, the 8th chapter, I believe, most of the people are going to die. The world to come is for few, and we see that because the same people that make fun of us, like our camp, we had somebody scoff and say we're niggas with bed sheets, and that shit's funny. But when you really think about it, not literally funny. I'm saying that sarcastically, but the dudes out there that be making fun of us and scoffing us and scoring, especially the men, they didn't have the balls to go out there and to preach the downfall of Esau, Edom, and to glorify the names of Yahweh Shema Shai. You got some people out there that they know that what we're saying is true, but they're hiding their talent. They don't want to go out there because they're afraid their mama's going to look at them different. They're afraid that they're going to lose their job. You see, you can't be like that. You're going to lose a lot. That's just the way it is. Micah 2:10. This is not our rest. All right, so this not being our rest means what? We're going to go through adversity. We're going to have people that hate us. We're going to have family members that betray us. It's just part of carrying your cross. Yahweh Shai told us that the servant is not greater than his master. So everything Yahweh Shai went through, we got to go through as well. And that's just the way it is, man. All right, it was written. But like I was saying earlier, that's what you want, because going through adversity is what builds up your spirit. It builds up your strength. Men are built to go through adversity. We're supposed to go through the furnace of affliction. Sirach, the 2nd chapter. So count it glory. Be honored that the Lord is paying attention to you and putting you through different circumstances that is going to make you a better individual, right? Because like I said, what is that? Second Ezra, the 6th chapter. It talks about how with great labor have I made it perfect. The Lord is putting a lot of time and energy into His elect, especially the men, all right, to make sure that they're ripe, to make sure that they're constantly growing in the spirit and just becoming gods on the earth, lowercase g gods. What is that? Psalms 82 and 6. Ye are gods. The Lord is really building us up, man. So if you're not going through nothing and you're just sitting there, because Jake in the world, they want to get a bag and they want to have no worries. But if you have no worries in this world, you're gonna be so weak, man. You're gonna be so effeminate. It's natural for men to go through hell, all right, because that's what makes you a man. You know, getting your hands dirty, scraping your knees. Everybody as a kid, that's one of the ways they learned and how they grew and how they learned how to ride a bike or a scooter or a skateboard or whatever, is scraping the fuck out of your knees and elbows. It's just part of life. So how is it any different when you come into this truth? All the comfortability is going to come in the kingdom when we have those new bodies. But on this side, you're not meant to be comfortable. Like brothers say, don't be too comfortable, be one comfortable, or be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, I'm not saying you purposely put yourself in uncomfortable situations. There's going to be times where the Lord is going to have you sitting in an okay estate. Well, not estate. That's like houses and shit. But a decent state. Because sometimes you'll be lower, maybe financially, higher financially. Sometimes you'll have different ways of catching hell. It might be a woman, it might be your body, it might be this, it might be that. The Lord ain't always going to have you low, and the Lord ain't always going to have you high. But that's why the Lord said what? Be content. So be content that when you're here, you're catching hell, because that's a very good sign. Apostle Rakai always goes into that. He always says, if I'm not going through hell, or if nothing is happening, I start to get worried. And that's exactly how it is. Now, everybody's measures that they can handle is all going to be different. And that's another thing in this truth. You don't want to compare yourself to other men. Everybody has their own individual lot, abilities, gifts, things that they do. You see, so you just got to be the best that you can be. Be on fire for your spirit. All right, but I don't want to keep, rambling. So Lord, one that this lesson was edifying to elect. Before I close, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashmi Shai Bashem Kodash. Double honors, of course, to the apostles, elders, of Great Millstone, and Shalom and the Baba Ball.